What's up, dudes? It's your boy Happy Chappy here. We got a little bit of an army growing here. 8,000 subscribers. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate every single one of you. Now in this video, we're going to show you how to build a kelp super farm. Now this can be used for small scale and scaled up to super farm size style if you would like. So these are the items that you're going to need. So this is to do it in 2 levels. Okay, today we're going to do it on 2 levels, but we can be scaled up as I will show you later on in the video. But the items that you are going to need are 55 planks or builder blocks of some kind, 19 sand, 19 pistons, 2 observers, 20 redstone dust, 6 hoppers, 4 chests, 2 stacks of glass, or 3 stacks of glass, sorry. Then you're going to need 19 signs, 38 fence gates, 6 trap doors. Then you're going to need some kelp as well to plant, since this is a kelp farm. Now you don't necessarily need sand as well either. You can plant the kelp on anything that you want if you, let's say you've got dirt or something in your inventory that you want to get rid of. And then if you are going to scale this up, what you're going to need is either some trap doors, or alternatively, you're going to need some coral fans if you can get your hands on them, okay? And I'll explain that later on in the video too when we build this thing up. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do for this build is dig a 3 wide trench, and then what you're going to do is you are going to dig out 9 blocks in each direction. Okay, once that's done, this is what you should have. Next, on this back side here, now, like I said, you don't have to do this. You could just dig this out 2 wide if you want to. What we're going to do is we're going to place the first row of blocks that our kelp is going to be planted on. Okay, so it should look like that. Okay, and then on center here, what we're going to do is we're going to dig this out just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to dig this down here in the center, in the middle, like I said. Okay, on center, we're going to dig out 6 blocks. Then we're going to take our chest and place our chest down. And then we're going to run all of our hoppers going into that chest there. Okay, once that's all done, what you want to do is just come across the top here. Okay, this is what it should look like. Next, you're going to surround this whole thing in glass here. And you're going to make that 2 high in total. Okay, so 2 high like that. Okay, and next what you're going to do is along this whole row here, all the way down, you're going to put down your 2 gates, and then you're going to make sure that you open every single one of them. Okay, and once you have that done, this is what it should all look like. And next what you're going to do is on the row above the fence gates there, you're going to place down all of your signs, and you're going to do this the whole way down as well. Okay, once that's done, this is what you should have here. Then you're going to come down and inside this pit here, and you're going to place a water block on each one of these blocks here. Okay, the water should flow down towards the hoppers here. Do the same for the other side. Okay, I missed the first one there. Okay, there we go. We are good to go. Okay, now I messed up a little bit. Let's remove this row here, so don't put this row on. Okay, now this is where we are going to place our pistons. Now you can either make it so that the kelp grows 3 blocks high, or if you want to, you can make it so that it grows 8 blocks high or 20 blocks high, okay? But basically what we're going to do is put down our pistons. Okay, and then somewhere centered on this thing, well not centered, but you know, equal with each other anyways, we're going to place down our 2 observers. We're going to do 3 blocks out from the center, and then 3 blocks out from the center. Yep. Okay, once that's done, you can put your filler blocks in here on top. Okay, and then we're going to build up the walls. Okay, you want to make sure that it is at least 1 block above the top here. Same thing for the front. Okay, once you have that done, this is what it should look like. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to come to the back side here. You're going to place down your full planks if you want to, and then you're going to run your redstone across it. Okay, this is what everything should look like when you are done. Next, you're just going to add your water in. So you want to place your water down on this whole top row here. So I suggest maybe putting a infinite water source somewhere, maybe even building it off on the side of the thing here. because you are going to need a lot of water for this system, but yeah, an infinite water source should work just fine. Okay, and once you have your water in place, all you have to do is just go down and plant your kelp. Now, this is something that you can do right away, but if you are going to scale this thing, this is the time to do it. Okay, and in order to scale this thing, all you have to do is, so we'll remove this water here. You can remove these blocks on top. Now, kelp will grow on anything, so you can use the glass if you want to in order to grow kelp, but for our purposes, we are going to stick with the sand just to kind of differentiate from everything. Okay, once you have your sand down, all you have to do is just come back here and step it up one, and then place your piston, or like we talked about, as many blocks as you're going to place here with either your observer, or if you don't have that many observers, you can hook the next row up here to the wiring system. Okay, and once you have this thing layered up as many high as you are going to do, you can either put observers on every row, or you can kind of tie everything together with a redstone circuit. Okay, now our next step, what we are going to do is come to the front here. You can either place down regular coral or dead coral. Okay, but what that is going to do is that is basically going to prevent the coral from growing up as high as it wants to. Now on these bottom layers here, because coral can grow to 25 blocks high, what that can do is the coral down here, let's say it has a slow grower in front of one of these observers here, these corals here can grow up 25 blocks high, which will then push the water out and completely destroy the waterfall, you know, technique or mechanism that we have here. So the way to prevent that is to either place coral here, or you can place down some trapdoors if you want to. So you can see here I have trapdoors in here, as well as fence gates, or sorry, just fence posts anyways. The problem with using trapdoors is that when you do place them down, okay, you may have to waterlog them in order to get the water to flow properly. Otherwise you're going to end up with a dead space down here, which you do not want. Same thing with the fences. You'll have to waterlog those by hand, but if you use coral, you do not have to do that. So, okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to build the walls up here. We want to build it up kind of in a waterfall cascading pattern like that. Now on this build here, as you can see, it doesn't have to go all the way to the top. It just kind of has to cascade down. Okay, and just kind of go up for the first 4 or 5 layers there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see it goes up 4.5 layers there. But yeah, just put a wall around this thing. Okay, once you have your walls built on this thing, what you want to do is make your way to the top here, and then build yourself a little row of scaffolding or something to get across here. And then make yourself an infinite water source as well too, because you need to put a water source along this whole top row here. So okay, and it needs to be every block, because as you can see, if we do every other block and try to, you know, do the water source pattern, you end up with this here. So what you want to do is make sure that you get every single water block there. Okay, now's either the time to go around and place your coral. Okay, once you get your coral in place, you can see it kind of pushes the water out to, or pushes the water out one more block anyways. Okay, and what that's actually going to do is that's actually going to give us our nice little waterfall pattern that we have there. So as you can see, it's just kind of cascading down, and that is because of the coral here. Okay, once all your coral is in place, this is what the farm should look like. Okay, I missed this row down here, so I'll get that in really quickly. Okay, so that is what everything should look like there. Now all you have to do is go around and plant your kelp. Get your kelp in place, and then your system is done and ready. I mean, quite literally, you are done and ready. We'll do a little showcase after we get everything in place. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the row that we planted the coral fan on before, and it has kind of a dead space in it. So I'm removing the fans and placing them back down. Now this is the same thing that happens with the trapdoors and the fence gates, and like I said, all you have to do is just waterlog them yourself, and then you are good to go. But it does require a lot more water. But again, if you don't have access to any fans, that is the route you can do. You can just place your trapdoor down and then waterlog it. Okay, once they're all done, this is what it should look like here. Okay, we have all the redstone and everything connected on the back. This is basically on every other one there is a observer that will recognize when something is in front of it, and then it will fire the signal powering all of these pistons. This one over here is set up a little differently, as you can see. Okay, the observers are kind of set up randomly, so I think it's every 3 I did on this one here. But yeah, same build, same setup. Okay, so basically how the sucker works is once we've got all our redstone and everything connected, so we have observers on every other one here. Once everything is all connected, as soon as a piece of kelp grows in front of the observer there, the pistons will fire. Everything will fall down here kind of in a waterfall pattern, down to the bottom, fall straight through down to here, and then funnel into the hoppers there. We turn up the random tick speed here. As you can see, when everything grows, whichever ones get in front of the observer there, fire, and the system is triggered and activated. Everything kind of works as a waterfall flowing down. As you can see, this is why you don't need any glass in the front, because it cascades backwards, so no items ever get caught up on top. The only thing you'll have to keep in mind is, okay, you may need to put a roof on it. As you can see, some things do hop skip up here, but it only needs to be a 2 or 3 block wide roof in order to get it done. Now you can decorate this thing by using, you know, like I said, the coral fans. You can use the colored one if you do have a silk touch pickaxe, but yeah, it's a pretty good farm, pretty efficient. Now I did do a test on the one that I built last night here overnight. Okay, it was about a probably 7.5 hour test. And if we look in the thing, oh my goodness, this is the amount of kelp that we got in that little AFK section. Now, I don't know if that's good or if that's bad. I don't really use kelp for anything in Minecraft. I often just go out because, as you can see, you know, we're not too far from our very own kelp farm right there in the wide open. But, you know, this is definitely something that you can build. A full double wide chest like this filled with kelp equals out to almost 3 stacks of bone meal, so you can use this as a bone meal farm if you want, or a fuel source farm. Another thing to keep in mind is, as you can see, I built this one down here for the hoppers, one thing in the ground more. If you find that your kelp is sliding down here and maybe getting caught up on the edge of the hoppers, that is something that you can do. You can just build it down, put the trapdoors on top, and then you have a lossless system. So if you're not near the ocean, you know, maybe this is something you can do. Maybe somebody can do the test to see which one is faster. Is it faster to have the 3 rows like that where it is only 3 high, or is it faster to do it this way and just kind of step it back 1, 2, 3 or 4 every single time you go for it? So I have no idea, but just keep that in mind that you could space out these rows if you want to in order to get maybe a bigger yield out of this farm. I know it takes a lot of resources when it comes to pistons, but, you know, really no big of a deal, especially if you build it up over time, you know, and then maybe put 2 of them together, connect them together with some sort of pool here in the center in order for the items to kind of fall down to, and then funnel down into a middle pit or something if you want to. You know, that would be something cool. The only difference between the fences and the coral, like we talked about, is that you have to actually manually waterlog these in order for them to actually work. You know, sometimes when the kelp grows up here, it will actually waterlog the trapdoor for you, but, you know, there is no guarantees, so that's why I decided to switch to the coral for it. As you can see, the coral works perfect. So there you have it, you guys. That is the kelp super farm. You know, it can be used as a early game regular farm if you want to, and then you can expand it up to a super farm if you want, but that is the build. Pretty good farm. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again so much for watching. We're almost at an army here of subscribers, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Okay, boys? Peace.